Hello, everyone. We're back again with Big Brother. We're now on episode 24 of season 24. And we have Brittany and Taylor on the block, who was put up there by Turner, who's aligned with pretty much everyone in the house. He used the excuse that Joseph told him about a potential alliance between Brittany, Taylor, and himself. He left out Michael from that little revelation because he's planning to backdoor Michael. All right. So now that we all caught up, everyone is surprised about the situation. Of course, Taylor is crying. She's a professional victim. Taylor. She's just so bad at this game. I can't. I can't with incompetence. So she's crying, which convinces Monty and other people that this alliance thing was actually true, that she did pitch an alliance to Joseph. So she's crying because she thinks Joseph betrayed her. And then we have Brittany, who's saying this never happened because she was never part of the talk. She was never part of the talk because Joseph said that Taylor was the one that had that conversation with him, not Brittany and the rest of them. All right. So now Monty's completely on board with getting rid of Taylor or Brittany, either one, or even Michael if the backdoor happens. All right. So the thing that Joseph said was that Taylor hinted at her final three that she had with Michael and Brittany, which is true. She did have that. And she hinted at that to him. And she also tried to get him on board as a fourth in their alliance. Joseph, who was also part of the Pound Alliance, so he was never going to join that. He was part of the four, which is the four guys, the Pound Alliance that was within the Leftovers Alliance. All right. But she wanted him on board with her thing. And he said no to it, but he probably didn't say no. He probably just like shelved it and just not continued the conversation. He probably used an excuse that he doesn't want anything to come between the Leftovers or whatever. He's loyal to them or something like that. All right. I don't know why he chose to reveal that information. I don't know why he thought that would save him. It didn't seem pertinent. But it could be that he revealed it to sort of make them believe that he's willing to turn on that alliance. So I can see his reasoning, but it was just never going to work. He should have revealed it to Turner first, and then see if he can get Turner on his side to sort of help him refine whatever he's going to say to kind of get them on his side. But he didn't do that. All right. Because if he could have convinced Turner and Turner convinced Terrence, then maybe he could have worked. But then Alyssa wouldn't be on board to get rid of Kyle. If she's not on board, then their alliance wouldn't be unified, and it probably wouldn't work. They wanted a unified alliance, and the best one was to make Joseph the scapegoat, unfortunately. It just wasn't going to work any other way. There was no one that would back him up, except Turner could have backed him up, but Turner is not really that loyal dude. All right. So now they're all in the room with Kyle, Alyssa, Monty, and Turner. And Kyle took this opportunity to reveal to Monty and Turner, because Turner didn't know this, that he was the one that exposed the Leftovers Alliance to Terrence prior to anything happening. And as he's doing this, Monty, like clearly visible on his face, he's cringing. He's like, oh, like what? Really? And he's revealing this, hoping to kind of get ahead of it before it's revealed by someone else. And show you an example of the face that Monty is making when he's hearing this. This is the face he's making. And for some reason, Kyle is not seeing this, and he's going ahead. He's telling what happened. So now Monty's starting to think that, oh, those guys probably turned everything on Joseph. That's why they all had that unified story, is because they somehow made Joseph the scapegoat. After hearing this, after hearing that, Monty was no longer on board with the Pound Alliance after that. He didn't say that, but he's no longer on board with them. He's no longer tight with them because he can't trust Kyle now, because he turned against his alliance members before there was even a chance for anything else to happen. Just ridiculous gameplay that these guys are having. Anyways, after he did that, Monty goes to Taylor, and he pretty much talked to her about the possibility that they all turned against Joseph, and he was trying to get her to pick him to play for the veto so he can win his own safety and protect himself. All right. Kyle, on the other hand, was trying to make Kyle and Turner was trying to make Michael feel comfortable that they're not going against him. Michael wanted Brittany to pick him for the veto, and Michael's also entertaining the idea to reveal to everyone about Kyle's potential all-white alliance that he was going to bring up, that he was trying to make, but that they shot down because of the optics, not because they didn't think it was a good idea. They just thought the optics weren't right. So they did that. They talked about it, and then it's time for the veto competition. The players picked for the veto competition was everyone except Kyle. Kyle and Terrence, I think. I don't think Terrence was picked. So everyone except Kyle and Terrence were playing, which means Michael is playing, the person that they didn't want to play. All right. So let's skip this stuff about, all right. There we go. All right, so this is what the veto competition looks like. You can see slippery floor. They're going to be going back and forth to fill up a thing at the end there. So they have to fill up this. All right, so there's two things that they can fill up. They can fill up the smaller one, and they're going to get a bigger cup that they can use to fill up the larger one, or they could just go straight for the larger one and win the game. All right, so Turner decided to go for the smaller one to get the bigger cup. Michael chose to go for the bigger one and just go for that one and gun for it. And it just came down between Michael and Turner. Everybody else was kind of garbage at this competition. And in the end, Michael's strategy won, because even though Turner was trying to catch up after getting the bigger cup, he just couldn't make it because Michael had a huge head start way before that. Because Michael had enough to fill up the smaller cup way before Turner was even able to fill up the smaller cup. So he lost, and Michael got the veto. Now that Michael got the veto, Brittany's excited because he can protect her and take her off the block. All right. So that's another veto win for Michael. Has anyone else won a veto? Oh, Kyle won a veto before. Kyle won 2 vetoes, I believe. Yes, he won 2 vetoes. One as a team and one as an individual. He won 2 vetoes. And every other veto was won by Michael, I believe. All right. So now that Michael is safe, he chose to go to let's skip a lot of this stuff. He chose to go to Terrence and Monty, and no, not Terrence. He went to go to Monty and Taylor to explain to them about the whole situation with Kyle and his all-white alliance pitch. And they were, Monty was emotional about it. Taylor was emotional about it. But here's the thing. Kyle is not racist. What he did wasn't racist. It is a genuine consideration, considering what happened last season. With the Cookout Alliance, they all unified based on race. He's no more racist than they are, Because now, because they made that precedent, now that that happened, it is an actual consideration within gameplay to actually try to get them out because of what happened before, and it can happen again. It's an actual consideration that people should have, and something I would have, considering what happened. He was obviously wrong because, well, they just weren't working together. It was pretty obvious that they weren't working together. I don't know why he decided to go that way. It was a logical consideration, but it was wrong considering the context of what was actually happening in the game that he was playing. All right. But I don't think he did it because he was racist. The Black people decided to come together to make history and sort of do something for the culture or whatever the hell, and that is the consequence of it. Is now that people are going to be looking at that when they considering something. Well, this is the thing. They were saying they want to do this because they haven't been a Black winner, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, the reason they haven't been that many Black winners of the game of Big Brother is simply because most of the contestants are white. Most of the contestants are white, which means most of the winners are going to be white. That's just how these things work. All right. The reason that most of the contestants are white is because most of the people auditioning to get on the show are white. So they have a larger pool to choose from. Also, they would have to specifically choose Black people in order to make up the numbers. They make up the numbers, they make it even with the women. They can't also make it even with the men, with the race, unless they make the women all a certain race. And there's more races than white and Black. So they can't do that. All right. It's just, they just can't do that. There's just not enough, there's not a big enough pool where they can just smattering a bunch of races and a bunch of genders and all this stuff. It can't happen. All right. And also, most of the people watching the show are also white. So the contestants' numbers being white, and the people who choose to audition being white, and the people that watch the show being white also correlate. So it's not racist at all. It's just math. All right. But by making it about race, like the cookout did, this is the consequence. Kyle is not racist. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying that, but he's not racist. What he did wasn't racist. All right. It was purely strategy. It was terrible strategy, but it was purely strategy. He doesn't deserve the kind of bullshit that they're putting on him right now. It's nonsense. I mean, the whole freaking game he was working with people of color. He never discriminated against them or treat them wrong in any way. He never disrespected them. Like, come on. You have this one incident where he was thinking strategy, and you have all these other examples where he was just communicating with people completely normally and completely comfortably, and he's never once showed any dissatisfaction or any sort of racial bias against people. And then you're going to judge him based on that one incident and forget about all those other times. Like, that's just ridiculous. In fact, the only people that have shown to be racist is Taylor, who chose not to put up someone because of their race on the block. Taylor is the only one that's done something racist in this whole show. So miss me with this nonsense about Kyle being racist. All right, so we're done with that. They're all talking about it. They're all disappointed in Kyle. They brought it up. After they brought it up to Taylor and Monty, they then brought it up to Alyssa, who says, oh, she can't believe this. She's gonna have to talk to Kyle to find out how this happened. Keep in mind, Kyle already brought up this information to Alyssa. He brought up the same alliance pitch to Alyssa way before. I mean, she's probably too dumb to remember it or even realize the implication of the whole thing. But now she's acting oblivious to what happened. All right, so they brought it up to Alyssa. Then they brought it up to Turner. After they brought it up to Turner, Turner is now thinking, damn, this is disappointing. Now I might have to put up Kyle on the block because of it. because of the implication and because of the optics of the outside world as they're watching the show. They might think if he didn't do it, then he's approving of whatever nonsense, politics, bullshit. So Kyle doesn't know what's going on. He asks Alyssa what's going on. No one is talking to him. And then he finds out about what is happening. And he's like, oh, he's obviously concerned about his life now, because if they just put that label on him without him even getting a chance to defend himself, there's no way out of it. There's always going to be people who's believing that he's that way. And as long as the ball gets rolling and more people keep saying it, there's nothing he can say to get away from that title. That is how insidious this kind of bullshit is. You just put the title on someone you don't like. And as long as enough people are saying it, you just tell somebody, and somebody that trusts you, you tell them, and enough people are repeating it before you even hear from the actual person, and the label is just sticking on them. So this could freaking ruin his life. This is bullshit that's happening right now. This is complete. What's happening to him is racist. It's bullshit. Because if he was any other race, he would get the benefit of the doubt, but because he's white, he's screwed. They put the label on him and he's screwed. It's over. It's game over for him. All right, so that is how it ends. They're considering putting Kyle up on the block. Turner is considering putting Kyle on the block. This was very disappointing to me. I like the gameplay aspect of it, but the bullshit that's going to happen in Kyle's personal life, I don't like that. That's just nonsense. So, all right, till next time.